Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Okay, so I got to tell you, I'm really excited today. Okay? I get to present some of the best implants in the country, and I get to tell the Xerox story. So I got about 30 minutes. I want to do just a brief overview of Xerox because I know a lot of you think, okay, I know Xerox, but you know what? You might be surprised to find out that you really don't. Okay? And I want to drill into how we see the market, how we think we can help you add more value back to your organizations, to increase your relevancy, and to improve your overall look of your shop. And by doing that, I'm going to drill into some of the technology that we have out there. And I'd like to kind of make it interactive, so you should feel free. If you have any questions, comments, if you think I'm overstating something, feel free to challenge me, ask me questions. I mean, it doesn't have to be all about me, okay? So let's talk. I talk about Xerox. We're going to talk about one of the themes of my conversation today will be about change, right? And we're not immune to change. So you probably heard in the news, Xerox is going through change right now, right? So we see that as nothing but a great thing, right? So we're separating into two different organizations. And so the organization that I'm going to talk to you about is the one that I know I'm going to belong with, and that's the Document Technology Organization, Xerox. And you know, in 2015, that part of Xerox was an $11 billion company. So we're still going to be a Fortune 500, a very relevant organization. It has over 40,000 employees, and one fact I'd like to point out here is that we were at #1 market share in equipment revenue for the last 24 consecutive quarters. And if you know how competitive our industry is, I mean, that's pretty outstanding, that fact. Okay, so talk about change. Well, let's talk about something that's not changing. And one of those things is our production strategy. We think we've invested heavily in where we're taking this particular part of our business, and we think, you know, the results are showing that we're doing the right things. So, what are some of the components of our strategy? We believe that we're going to win through cut sheet technology. And that's where I'll be spending most of my time today talking about that technology. But we plan on taking that and taking it further, and not just for the commercial printers. We think that some of this is definitely going to impact your life going forward. So when we talk about things like packaging, inkjet technology, digital migration, so we're going to actually help you be able to take some of that hard copy documents and take them into a digital application. Again, help you add more value. Those are the types of things that we're going to be doing going forward. Okay. Where do we see the industry as a whole? Okay. Shouldn't surprise you, or maybe it does surprise you to understand that still today, paper is very relevant. They all talk about the death of paper, paper's going away. The fact remains there's still 50 trillion with a T, okay, images being produced each year. And of those images, only 2% have migrated so far to digital. So we think that digital migration is just starting, and that fact alone would make me excited to be an implant manager. Knowing that transition, taking work off of the press and moving it to digital, adding more value, adding more relevancy. I mean, it's a great time to be a digital, or be an implant. Okay. We're going to hear a lot about Xerox today. We're going to talk a lot about technology, speeds and feeds perhaps. But if there's only one thing you leave with today, I want you to leave with the concept of automation. Okay? We see document production as a manufacturing process. And if you don't take a look at it in its whole sum, you can't really affect total productivity. So we want to automate every step of the production process. From pre-press, getting the files to you, doing signature layouts, doing all of those activities before the image ever hits the press. We've got the tools and solutions that will help you automate that part of it. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about the press automation. How do we keep that press available, up and running, and producing sellable, high-quality images day in and day out? So that's very tools like inline spectrophotometer, real-time image quality and process control, so that we can keep track of what's being produced. The other thing is finishing. We've got we've got some unique finishing capabilities. We work with people like CP Board, okay, that'll add a lot of value to our devices. We can also work very well with some of your existing offline, and we also have a dual mode that I'm going to talk about later on that allow you to get the best of both worlds, inline and offline. Okay, so let's take just a quick look at our product portfolio. And again, I told you we're going to talk about cut sheet today primarily. So our cut sheet program starts at the very high end with our newest product. It's the iGen 5 150, 150 page per minute, high quality digital press. And I will make the statement, it is the #1 digital press in the industry. That's a pretty bold statement, and I hope you hold me accountable for backing that statement up today during the presentation, because I plan on doing just that. As we go down, you're going to see that we also offer an entry-level digital press. That's the ColorPress 1000i. Very excited about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit of detail. And then even going down further than that, you go into the second space, which I call the multifunctional digital color copier products, where we have the Versa 2100, we've got the brand new Versa 80, and going all the way down to the 60 or 70 page per minute device. So what I want you to get from this is that we've got a full product range. So depending on your application, depending on your needs, we have technology that could address that. The other thing I'd like you to take is that we start at the top. Right? So much of the technology you're going to find in some of our lower end products started with the iGen, and we're bringing that technology down. And that's a real differentiator from us when you talk about some of the competition that's out there. Any questions so far? Okay. So, talked about a lot of different products. Again, I just want to emphasize we separate those products into two different product families, if you will. Digital press technology, and we feel very strongly there's really only 3 manufacturers that are out there right now playing in that top space. That's HP, Kodak, and Xerox. And then you have the copier printer technology, and that's a pretty busy space. So you have the Japanese, you have the camera company. You also have the likes of Xerox, so we play in that as well. And we really see the difference between these two product sets as being driven by application. What are you trying to do? So from a digital press technology, if you're trying to produce high quality images, okay, on a wide variety of substrates, with unbelievable image quality and extremely tight registration, productively, and leverage detailed automated color management technology, you need a digital press technology. That's where that fits. All of these can produce high quality photo images. Okay. So a little bit of my background, I've worked with many of these measures down below. I've actually sold pretty much every machine that you see on here at one time or another. So I know what they do well and what they don't do well. So I know if you take an image and you get Konica Minolta, you get Canon, you get Ricoh, you get Xerox to go make a sample of that on some really nice stock, every one of them are going to come back with eye-popping image quality, and it looks great. The difference is who can repeat that image quality day in, day out over the long term. And that's where the digital press technology really separates itself. Okay. I like to throw up this side. I know people look at it and they go, why are you showing me the weight of your machine? But weight has a direct correlation to the robustness of your solution. Okay? So you take a look at the iGen 4 weighing 3,500 pounds. Look at the Ricoh 9110, right around 1,000 pounds. I mean, there's a totally different mindset gone into the manufacturing of these products. And think about it again. You're going to try to produce two-sided, 300 GSM, 13 by 19 images, day in, day out. Those machines just pounding, day in and day out. What do you want sitting on your shop floor? Do you want something that's made from, basically plastic, or do you want a heavy iron machine producing that day in and day out? So I think that's important information. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the two digital presses. Talk a little bit about the ColorPress 1000i. We're really excited about that. Again, the heritage of this product is a takeoff from the iGen, right? So we took a look at what was successful at iGen. We realized that there was probably a space for something between that and the light production market, and Xerox came out with the ColorPress 1000i. It's 100 page per minute, auto duplexing, extremely high quality, nice smooth images using the EA toner, very reliable, a lot of press automation, high level of productivity, high level of press availability, all because of that technology that I'm going to get into a little bit more that's built into the iGen family. You can run between 55 and 350 GSM, so your stock choices are pretty varied on this product. But just last year, we took that one step forward, one step further, and we've added the fifth color. So we always had we've had for a long time, the clear, flood, or spot coating. Now we're using that fifth stage to add even more value. So we can add gold and silver. So think about your marketing departments, right? They're looking for new ways to capture people's attention. A big blast of gold or an effective use of silver can really add tremendous value. It can help, sell yourself back up to those organizations that maybe aren't talking to you these days. Just another way of selling yourself. Flexible modular finishing, so you have a wide variety of Xerox manufactured or third-party manufactured technology that can be built into this. It's very modular, like the iGen. And it also gives you a lot of color automation to this too, so that you can hit those repeatable colors over and over again. The other part I would talk about again, and it talks about Xerox as a partner, right? So Xerox has the Xerox Productivity Plus package that allows us to help train some of your operators to do some routine tasks. We give you the tools, the software, and the parts. And why that's important is it helps you maintain press availability, get those jobs out so you're not as tied to our technicians arriving on site and helping you get that done. And that same package is also available in the iGen family. Okay, so I made that statement that the iGen 5150 was the best digital press in the industry, and now I'm going to back that statement up. We're all going through change. We talked about change earlier. Your world's changing, right? One of the things that's not changing is your customers' demand for high quality. Okay? And that's always been the big challenge in implants, right? Do you want it fast or do you want it good? You can't have it both, right? So how do you bridge that divide? Some competitors out there think that you're just not going to get there, so why fight that battle? And that was not the approach that Xerox took. Xerox said, we can do it, and we've done it with the iGen 5. Okay, and that's why we constantly say that the future, especially in the implant, it's an iGen 5 world, high quality and a lot of different versatility. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of the history on the iGen product family. It came out, as many of you know, in 2002. So think about that. In the last century, Xerox had the forethought to say, hey, the world is changing. We need to design and develop a new product that's going to meet those changes. Okay? And they were able to bring to market a product in 2002 that many of our competitors are still struggling to achieve. Okay? And we've launched that in 2002. I think there's over 2,000 iGens in the field today. Over 120 of them are producing over 1 million impressions per month. Think about that number. And you'd like to be doing 1 million impressions a month, every month at full high quality. We started with the iGen 3. We grew the iGen 4. We added color automation and the image quality. We took the next step and brought the 26-inch sheet to the product line. From there, we went to added the new matte finish, and matte finish toner, which I'll be talking about. And the iGen 150, 25% faster, the 2400 by 2400 DPI. And now you see where the product is today, where it's now a configurable platform that operates. Okay, so let's take a look inside the iGen 5 and get a better understanding of what it is. So, it's built on the iGen platform. The big change you're going to see is that fifth color housing, so the ability now to hit more of those brand colors. So we're extending the otherwise large color gamut that the iGen family had always had, where you could hit up to 80% of your Phantom colors. Now with the 5 colors, you can go to 90 to 92% of those Phantom colors, right? So what that means to you, the implant operator, is that now you can bring in more of that work that was going to the 5-color press down the street. Right? And do more short runs. Give more flexibility back to your marketing department so they can be more creative, they can do things in shorter time windows, just more flexibility. The other thing that's exciting with the iGen product is that it's more of a platform today. So it used to be, if you wanted to go from the iGen, 4110 and speed up to the 150, it was a forklift upgrade that was very inexpensive. Now we're marketing this as a platform. So you can start at 90, start with 4 colors, upgrade to 120, add a 5th color. Very modular in terms of configuration, in terms of what kind of front end you can put on it, how many feeder trays you can put on it, what kind of finishing can be inline. So it's really can be customized to meet your needs today and evolve to change for those growing needs and changes that you're going to see in your organization. So let's dive into that 5th color. It's pretty exciting. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to see some of the image quality. We'll do some samples here. But you can add orange, green, or blue. Again, extending the gamut, extending the possibilities, if you will, of what you can produce and what your design people can create and how they can leverage this. Okay. For some of you, I know we've got somebody here from Duke. Right? When you see the blue pop off the page using this 5th color, it's pretty exciting. And the other good thing is that we brought the 5th color without any sacrifice in productivity. So you're still going to produce at the same speed in 5 color that you are in 4 color. That's a big differentiator between us and the competition. Okay? And what else is true is that you can change colors relatively quickly compared to the competition. So less than a half an hour, you can go from running a blue 5th color to an orange blue 5th color. Again, just more flexibility, more availability. We're also going to give you the tools to help you fully leverage that color. So tools from a web-based tool that will tell you whether that particular Pantone color is going to be advantaged by, the red, or by the blue or the orange, or if you're okay with just the 4 colors that are already in the engine. It'll also help you be able to take a look at a swatch, be able to scan it in using the spectrophotometer, be able to read that, and then very quickly be able to tell whether you can hit and repeat that, and by what delta E variance you can achieve those colors. Again, this is a digital press. We're not talking about an office copy or anything. Okay. Now I'm going to switch and talk about productivity. Unlike some of our competitors that measure productivity and speed, feet per minute, we talk about it in terms of time. Because we all know that the speed of an engine is just one part of the productivity story, right? So you need more than just speed, okay? So on the iGen 5, right, like other devices, right, you're going to have downtime. You're going to have things that you're going to have to do when the engine's not in production. But what's different about the iGen versus our competition is how much time you need to perform those functions. So I'm going to show you that the image quality is so consistent and so accurate that you're going to be repeating a lot of jobs. Your setup time is been reduced dramatically. Okay? Error rates, downtime, all of those things are being compressed to the point now where we can confidently say that the average press availability in iGen is in 85 to 90%. Okay. Third-party studies have been done showing the next closest digital press is operating around 60%. So that's a 25% delta. So if you think about it, just in terms of raw speed, right? So if you got one engine that's running at 184 pages per minute and another engine running at 184, one's an iGen and one isn't, 85% versus 60, over the course of a year, you could do up to 5 months more work on an iGen 5 than you can on that digital. So think about that. Okay, that means your press is running more consistently, more often, the jobs are getting done. You can now go out and bring in more work without adding more stuff. Okay, you're going to get the jobs done sooner, delighting your end customers, thrilling them with your turnaround time. You're going to have more confidence taking on those big jobs that you might have otherwise outsourced, because now you've got the capability to get that job done. And occasionally you might be able to go home early on a Friday afternoon, as opposed to working after the weekend like you're doing today. Right? Okay. Image quality, getting that press up to color. Okay, we all have to do it, right? You have to do those color maintenance tasks. Well, with the iGen 5, we've automated that process for you. Okay, so in just a few quick minutes, we can auto-calibrate, linearize, and profile our engine. Okay, so that you're up to color, producing high quality within minutes, rather than an extensive half an hour or 45-minute job setup time that you see today on some of the devices. Calibration gives you the ability to hit, repeatedly the same color over and over again, and profiling gives you the ability to hit the target that you're aiming at. So you're able to be more confident with the colors that you're producing, and your customers are going to really see a big difference. Okay, how do we do that? Well, one of the unique technologies that are built into the Xerox iGen is the inline spectrophotometer. And I differentiate that from a densitometer, which some of the competition is using, because the spectrophotometer actually has the ability to actually read color and see color and talk in a color space. Densitometers, they're nice. They can see, changes in density, but they're really not going to get you to the point where you're hitting your colors repeatedly, consistently, time and time again, which is why you're investing in this type of technology, to do that sort of thing. It enables auto-calibration, auto-linearization, also the zero-graphic setup. So many of those tasks that usually take, 10, 20 minutes, maybe to an hour, now is done in a few minutes because of this technology. Okay. One of the things I'm going to talk about here is pretty exciting. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, it's pretty amazing. One of the challenges that kept a lot of work going outside was the propensity to have mottled or streaks occur in digital technology. Okay? Well, Xerox has come up with a patented way to overcome that. And that's using the streak detection, auto density controls on the iGen 5. And basically what it does, not to get too technical, but it's reading the density of the image in real time in full production at full rate of machine speed, and can detect even minor changes in the density that will result in streaks if they're not dealt with quickly, and they'll deal with that, all without operator intervention. So you don't have to have a highly skilled operator to operate this and to maximize the image quality, because the engine is going to do that for you. Okay? And what does that mean? You got more confidence to bring that work in and running it on the digital press. The other technology that really was an eye-opener for me when I first saw it is auto carrier dispense. Okay? Having sold a lot of the camera company engines, I know that developer changes and developer life was a key component of image quality. So, I used to tell a customer, if you're running a really important job where quality is really important, why don't you call in and get a developer change, right? Because they knew that with fresh developer, you had the optimum image quality. And so what you experienced with that, and I know many of you have that technology today, is that when it's first changed, you got beautiful image quality, but over time, it starts to degrade. It degrades to a point where it's no longer acceptable. Okay? And then you have to place a service call coming in. One of the challenges I've seen a lot of times is that your level of acceptance, okay, you're a little more critical of the service department than you get into a battle of the service department, whether or not you should be changing tone or changing the developer. I think you need to do another 100,000 images before I can justify changing the developer. None of those conversations are ever going to happen with Xerox because we're using auto carrier dispense. We're constantly feeding fresh developer into the engine. So there's none of this with image quality. It maintains high image quality all the time because of this technology. I think it's pretty exciting. Okay, another factor of image quality is registration, right? Image on paper registration. Bill, when I was in your shop the other day, I was watching your AM operators, and the first thing I noticed is that they were the sheet up and they were looking and they were checking. They were doing front and back registration. They were going to do business cards. And it always stuck to my ass, but they said it always takes about 45 minutes sometimes to dial the stock in if it's particularly fussy that day, so that they get the registration they need to be able to produce the business cards on their device. And if they don't take that time up front, the error rate's just too high, and it becomes, just too much of a mess and create too much waste, right? You don't have to do that with the iGen, right? The iGen, using the full width array, will place that image in very tight registration, both front and back, so that it's bang on all the time. You don't have to do any setup. The machine does it for you. Again, it's a digital press. It's not a copy. Okay. Image quality. Photos. I know a lot of you have talked to me about, we're getting a lot of requests to do things like yearbooks, more photo book applications. We'd like to bring that in, but hitting that image quality is really tough on some technology. It's not so on the iGen. On the iGen, we've incorporated a new line screen, 210 line screen, specific for the photo book application. So you can get nice, smooth finishes, but you still keep the sharpness of the hair, so that you get that look and feel. Combine that with the Domtar stock, the photographic paper, it looks like it's coming off silver halide. Okay. those are the high value applications that you can start to bring in, where volume is what's making you relevant. It's the value of those documents. Okay? So, talking about line screens, the other line screen I'll just touch on really quickly is the ability to do object-oriented halftoning. Again, I can't imagine how many times I've seen where you had fine text in the document, especially colored text, and a photograph, and you were constantly trying to make changes on the engine so that you could maximize one and not the other. So if you wanted to get sharp text, you had to, kind of flatten out the image, and if you wanted a nice sharp image, you had to muddy up the text. Not an issue with the iGen. iGen has the ability to detect different objects on the page and apply a different line scaling depending on which object you're trying to produce. Again, maximize the image quality. I'm going to speed up here a little bit. Talk about matte finish. I talked about that briefly. We have the gloss dry ink that comes standard with the iGen. That was the original toner that was used. Again, high quality, looks great. Some people still like it with catalogs. But if you're really trying to emulate that offset press work, most of our customers are happy going for the matte dry ink. You have to see the samples to really understand how smooth and great the image quality is. Okay, talk about a configurable system. The system has the ability to run at 90, 120, or 150 pages per minute. You can start with a 90 page per minute device with 4 colors, grow it, grow your volume. Now you've got the need to add speed. It's not a forklift upgrade, as I mentioned earlier. 26-inch sheet size. 26-inch sheet size adds value in a couple of different ways. Number one, it can allow you to do work you couldn't otherwise do. So the gatefold brochure, the pocket folder, those things that come, that are on larger size images, you can now do those without having to set them in-house or set them out. Now you can start customizing, take advantage of digital, personalize, version, run shorter lengths, right? Again, adding value back to your marketing department. But then you can use those 26-inch sheets to cut your operating costs and to be more productive. Can you imagine doing 42 business cards just on one sheet of paper? I mean, how quickly can you turn that work around? Combine that with the real tight registration. I mean, you're running a factory. Okay, talk about the Xerox Integrated Plus finishing. So again, we can create a iGen with inline finishing, so it's a turnkey operation. And so if you're doing all signature booklets, square folds, that sort of thing, we can make it an automated process. But you might have other engines in your area. You might have an offset press somewhere. And how can you use the same finishing that you're investing in for the iGen for other applications? And that's the dual sheet feed module that sits between the finisher and the engine that allows you to bring work in from other devices and have it run very productively in an offline mode while the engine's still running other applications. Again, it allows you to take that investment you're making in the iGen and finishing and spread it out across other applications in your shop. I think it just clearly demonstrates that Xerox is looking at this a little different than the competition. Okay, so my goal today was to tell you a little bit about Xerox, talk about how we've changed, and to really highlight some of our new technology. Hopefully I've achieved that goal. And you like what you saw. And I guess if anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Mike, I do have one question. I mean, that's all very impressive. But I can get 3 of another item, of another press. That for what you talked to me about this one being for 1.
Oh yeah, and that's what the competition's going to tell you. I mean, that's what Rico and Cam's going to tell you. That's what I've been doing back, and I've told customers that. I confess, right? So here's the confession. I've actually beat an iGen and an Express in a sales cycle and sold 3 KMs. You can get 3 KMs for the price of that big digital press. And I'll tell you that customer still won't speak to me today. Because it sounded great on paper, right? Save $100,000. Oh yeah, that was great. It saved a lot of money. Now try, just imagine, right? So you got the carrier changing, right? So I go back to my little curve that I was talking about, right? Now you got three engines that are all different spots in those curves. And you're trying to manage color coming off all 3 devices and have it all repeatable and consistent. You just can't do it. And you can try, because I've tried. I spent hours and hours of time experience, right? So sure, saving that money, saving, $100,000, that sounds like a lot. You're going to feel good. Your boss is going to think a lot of you. But are you going to experience the value of that over the next 5 years? I could buy, I could go to Walmart and buy my shoes, right? And I'm going to save, a couple $100. But I'm going to pay for that savings every day, right? For the next 6 months until I have to buy a new pair of shoes, right? So that's just something I would think about when you're making a decision like this. It's not just about price.
Your shoes, both sides.
That's right.
Good job. Excellent.